I'd just like to briefly touch upon a couple important points, and then inshallah Maulana will speak.
Inshallah.
The wedding of Hazrat Fatima A.S, Imam Ali A.S, is a very noble tradition, and it is a tradition where the proposal came of Imam Ali A.S, and the Prophet said that I will consult with my daughter. And he went and he consulted her. And her silence, she was silent. And he said that her silence is her approval. So the Prophet, sending his daughter to Imam Ali A.S, Imam Ali A.S was born inside the Holy Kaaba. Now this is Fatima. She's the daughter of the Prophet from such an elegant household. She could be wed to no other than someone who came from a very high, noble household. People say that the Holy Kaaba was built for Ali, for the birth of Ali indeed, but in another way, the Holy Kaaba was also built for Fatima as a source of prestige, so that the groom that would come to wed her would say that you are born in the house of the Prophet, and I am born in the house of Allah. Now, this whole story of Hazrat Fatima is very short, sadly enough, because she only lived about 18 or 19 years old. Yet, she made a dua. And that dua is evident right here. That dua is her Shia, her followers.
MashaAllah.
And that dua is alive in the world, in every corner of the world today, wherever the followers of Fatima are, and that is everywhere, alhamdulillah, today. I would like to say that the whole entire Quran, so Hazrat Fatima is mentioned in two important ayats. One is obviously Ayat al-Tafhir,
MashaAllah.
33, verse 33, and the other is in Surah Surah Al-Imran, where it is the mention of Ayat al-Mubahila, where she is mentioned. However, when she had her salawat, Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad, when she had her marriage and then Hazrat Ali came,
MashaAllah,
the dowry was very affordable. Hazrat Ali said that, the Prophet said, "O Fatima, I have wedded you to the dearest of my family."
MashaAllah.
This is what the Prophet said.
Subhanallah.
Now, people used to taunt and make fun of the Prophet, and they said that you don't even have a son, so you are going to be doomed. And this is when Surah Kawthar was revealed. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Inna tainaka al-Kawthar fasalli li rabbika wanhar wa inna sha'naka huwa al-abtar. O Muhammad, fear not. Your progeny, your descendants will continue. It is your enemies who will perish. So this surah is actually referring to Hazrat Fatima, because through whom did the Prophet's descendants continue? Not through a son, but through Hazrat Fatima only. So just like the Holy Quran, the entire sum of the Holy Quran can be summarized by the Bismillah, and Imam Ali A.S. says that I am the bid, I am the dot under the Bismillah. So if you unfold that dot, it reveals the entire Quran, does it not? When you unfold that dot, it reveals the entire Quran. When you unfold the Surah Kawthar, it unfolds the entire Awlad Fatima.
MashaAllah.
And I would just briefly also like to make a point that it is Hazrat Fatima A.S. who was the first person to stand up for justice. After her father's death, he had left her some property. She was deprived of that property, yet she went to represent herself to gain that property for justice. So we can say that she was the first person to stand up for justice, though she was an orphan, and though she was a woman. And it was, as I mentioned earlier, it was the habit of the Prophet that when he would see her, he would rise. So when she went to the court of the Caliph, the very minimum that the Caliph could do was that he should have followed the sunnah of the Prophet, regardless what the issue was about inheritance or not, whether inheritance is legal or not. Did he follow the sunnah? Did he stand out of the respect of Fatima? If he did not, then he committed a major sin, and may Allah deal with him with his justice. Now, Hazrat Fatima A.S, she was the first person to fight against injustice, and unfortunately she was the first victim of terrorism. And her dua, our azadari, has been the continuous condemnation of terrorism. We, for 1400 years, have been fighting against unjust tyrants and terrorism, and that was her goal, that to establish justice. With that, I'd just like to make a humble dua for the sake of the birth of Hazrat Fatima A.S. and Imam Ali A.S, that all those who are sick or have sick persons in their families, may Allah give them shifa. Allah give all of us health and prosperity in our incomes and beautiful relations in our families, and may we learn the lessons of Ahl Bayt. So,